Muy buenas gente, bienvenidos a un episodio más del Let's Play de The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt. Vamos a continuar rápidamente porque quiero hacer esta misión ya con la cadena de misiones secundaria de el cabaret, que es la cadena de misiones de Jaskier, ¿vale? De Dandelion, Jaskier, y son 2 o 3 misiones seguidas y vamos a intentar hacerlas todas en este vídeo. Así que vamos a ver.
She spat in my face. Or might as well have. Called me a whoremonger and a witless hack. Can you imagine? Wit is my forte.
Gotta say, Priscilla's really growing on me.
Save it.
And why don't you save your pouting? Prove to her she's wrong.
Exactly what I plan to do. I've always dreamed of having my own cabaret. A bit of paint and plaster, and this place will do splendidly. Just one hitch. I need coin. So, if you happen to get a break between drowners and ecamajigs, maybe you can help an old friend out.
Where do you get this cabaret idea?
It's been a dream for years. Ever since we went to see one in Oxenford. Remember? The dancer hanging from the chandelier? And once she was completely downside up, she called you over and...
I remember.
How could you forget? And this place will be even better, I promise. That is, of course, if I can scrounge together the funds for some remodeling.
Maybe the Vivaldis would give you a loan. I'd vouch for you.
Funny you mention that. I went to see Vivaldi. You know what he said? Witchers are no good as guarantors. Risk of premature death is way too high. But I have another idea. I dated this girl once, Sophronia. That's a name if you can believe it. Has a merchant for a father, importer of spices from Zeracania. And Daddy Dear would never refuse his daughter Dear a thing. We can borrow the coin from her.
Name rings a bell. Isn't this the woman you abandoned without saying a word? Stepped out for a bottle of wine, never to return?
You know, I bought that wine for a reason.
Long time ago, that.
Been away a while, sure. Which is why I need to draw on your authority. You've got some, you know. No matter what you might think.
Fine. Tell me what you want. Got a feeling you've a plan all cooked up.
Sophronia could still be holding a grudge after our unfortunate parting. But with a touch of help from you, I know she'll forgive me. And then give me that loan.
What's this help entail?
First of all, we need to borrow a dull sword from Madame Irina. One of her props. You know, the kind they use during performances? Get that, then meet me outside Sophronia's house.
Let's say I agree and go see Madame Irina. What will you be doing in the meantime?
Something I have to finish. But I promise I'll do it before you come back with the sword. Then I'll tell you the rest.
Fine, but...
Geralt, the only butts in this plan will be the ones filling my seats. It'll work, you'll see. Get the sword from Madame Irina and meet me outside Sophronia's at sunset.
Vale. Consigo una espada de utilería de Madame Irina. Vale. Vale, es una espada Roma. Por cierto, me he tenido que hacer esta espada. Recordad que esta me la tuve, en la misión principal me la quitaron, no sé cómo. Y una vez la tengo en el inventario no la puedo volver a poner, porque no estoy en nivel 26. Esto es de cuando pusieron el parche 1.07, subieron el nivel de todo. Y ahora no me lo puedo poner, así que tengo que esperar un nivel. Y pues me he hecho esta espada solo para este nivel. Así que vamos allá. Voy a intentar hacer la cadena de misiones entera de Jaskier. Cada personaje principal, por hoy ya habéis dado cuenta, tiene una cadena de misiones específica. Pues hoy toca la de Jaskier y es el episodio del Let's Play 81, 80. No lo sé. Pero ya llevo unos cuantos, ¿eh?
Ah, so good to see you.
Got a request. Need to borrow one of your props. One of the swords you use for stage battles.
Mine? Whatever do you need that for?
I don't know, but Dandelion claims it's essential.
Oh, yes. I suspected Master Dandelion might have a hand in this. I certainly hope you don't aim to compete with me. Well.
Thanks. I'll try not to damage it. So long.
Vale, reúne con Jaskier cerca de la casa de Sofronia después del anochecer. Vale, lo que decía, no creo que le... A ver, ¿qué era? Era el que haces, tío. A ver. V. Gracias. Lo que decía, no creo que el Let's Play llegue a los 100 episodios. Y si llega, espero que el 100 sea el último. Que 100 episodios, tío. He alargado demasiado el Let's Play, tío. Demasiado. Los primeros 10, 20 episodios fueron muy lentos. Demasiado lentos. Y ahora se nota que estoy cogiendo más ritmo en el Let's Play. Se nota que avanza. Pero es que los 10 primeros episodios no hice nada, chaval. No nada, ¿eh? Ah, después del anochecer.
Ah, finally made it. Listen, here's the plan. Sophronia loves adventure-filled romance novels. I can be a hero in her eyes if I can just save her from a bandit. I'll have her eating out of my hand, and there's no way she'll begrudge me that loan.
Want me to be the bandit?
Knew you'd see the sense in it right away.
This could actually work.
Written your lines already.
You've written what?
So you know what to say during the performance. Here, and your mask. Put it on. Sophronia can't recognize you.
But...
No time. Sophronia's coming. Stick to the plan. We'll meet at the Rosemary in the morning.
Stop right there.
What is this? Help! Save me!
Tremble, flaxen-haired wench. Bow before the Prince of Thieves.
Not so fast. Drop your sword, scoundrel. This is your first and last warning.
Dandelion!
'Tis I, though the scum of the city...
¿Habéis visto el facepalm de Geralt? El capullo carmesí.
No, not the Crimson Avenger.
Silence, vermin! You shall regret the day you were born.
Joder.
Dandelion!
On guard!
I mean...
Enfréntate al pecador carmesí.
You're better than I thought.
Es que es de nivel 1, macho. Si lo pego... A ver, supongo que tendré que...
The Crimson Avenger triumphs again.
My hair! Are you well?
One blow struck true. Another scar from my collection.
Come inside. I shall bandage you up. Be gone, vile bandit, or the Crimson Avenger will beat you senseless!
Darn it.
He recibido 2 de experiencia. Vaya puta mierda de experiencia. Hacer, en serio, si los que estéis viendo el Let's Play, que sois 20, y queráis jugar The Witcher 3, haced las misiones en orden, por el amor de Dios. En serio, hacedlas en orden. No hay misiones grises. Todas las misiones ordenaditas. No pasa lo que pasa. Pasa que te encuentras en momentos como este. Vale. Ponete por la mañana. Momentos como este que te dan las misiones 2 de experiencia y mierda así. Esto no mola nada. No mola nada que te den Pues sientes que no progresa haciendo misiones, que sí, que te enteras de la historia y tal.
Just hopped out for a smoke. Seems they can't decide on a colour.
Don't know what the fucking problem is. The colour's either pretty or ugly. Ain't no philosophy to it.
There's been a misunderstanding. You're here too early.
We agreed to meet today, so we've come today. Supplies are all hauled in and the crew's raring to work. We'll start just as soon as our lovely directress gets round to deciding on the decoration.
But Dandelion doesn't even have the coin to pay you.
Turns out he does now, or soon will. At any rate, he's working on it.
See, it's all peachy. So will you finally decide what style you want for this interior?
Why are you asking me?
Well, the lovely lady seems to be having a hard time deciding. And Master Dandelion said he was torn between boudoir style and theatre decor, but that he'd let us know just as soon as we arrived. Now we're here, but no decision's been made. And the lady's horribly surprised she's to choose. Though apparently this whole renovation's for her sake.
For me?
Well, it's not for me. Now, would you please decide where I bust a vessel?
I've no idea what Dandelion would like. Geralt, you've known him longer. Say something.
El tocador, ¿qué cojones? Yo diría teatro.
You're both stage artists, and cabaret's a form of theater. Interior should reflect that.
A wonderful choice it is. At last. Gentlemen, you're done lollygagging. Get to work.
Well, guess this cabaret's the real thing.
Ever since Dandelion inherited this place, he's talked about it constantly. I just never expected him to take action. And so quickly.
Who knows? Might even settle down now. He'll have to keep an eye on the business. Who would have known?
Despite what people say about him, Dandelion approaches life very rationally.
We talking about the same Dandelion? Man who loses a fortune worth half of Novigrad in one night?
Dandelion can also be responsible. He always pays anyone who works for him on time, and he's never missed a performance.
Sure hope your opening won't be the first. He's still not here.
Well, he said as soon as he got the coin, he'd go see Polly, our choreographer. She's missed the last few rehearsals. I certainly hope he's not gotten into trouble.
Anything's possible with Dandelion. Let me see if I can't find him.
Encuentra a Jaskier.
Witcher, I'd give you a discount for heroic deeds, but the madam, well, you know. Meow.
Don't you worry, sir. It'll be a belter. If Master
Vale, a ver. ¿Dónde es? ¿Dónde está? Vale.
For his last, we sure can't let him down.
Encuentra a Jaskier.
I met you, mate. Back there at Lockwood. Eternal fire, why me?
¿Qué cojones hace Jaskier?
What's the ruckus about?
Polly and her half-brained fiancé. They're fighting. She's the only one in this town who knows anything about choreography, and that lummox won't let her work for me. Hold on. What are you doing here? We were gonna meet at the Rosemary.
We were, but you didn't show. Priscilla started to worry, so I came to see how you were doing.
Priscilla started worrying about me? That's so nice!
Less for her than for you, I'm sure. So let's get back.
Did you not hear what's going on in there? We've got to help Polly. Why do beautiful women always end up with such dicks?
No idea. Stand back. I'll break the door down.
Wait, do we have to destroy her house? She keeps a spare key around here somewhere.
How would you know she keeps a spare key around here?
It's not as if we started working together yesterday. Before Polly joined forces with Hubio,
You'd visit her? Often?
I'd hide out here while Priscilla and Polly rehearsed at the Rosemary and Thyme. They worked on the dance numbers I composed.
So, Polly's not one of your...
I never mix business and pleasure.
The one exception being Priscilla.
Who you were just saying is worried about us. So enough of the chatter and start looking.
Fine. Let's find the key.
We've no monsters.
Mírala dónde está.
Damn it. Now where
Not here.
is she?
Ah, no. What?
The key.
En un cubo, en serio, al lado de su casa.
What's it like? Heading
Whoa! What the devil's this? Get out of my house!
Dale la hacha.
Watch it, and leave the woman alone.
What the... She's my betrothed.
But I'm not your property.
I love her. I'll not let her sway her ass in his brothel.
Whoa, slow down there a minute. This is clearly one gigantic misunderstanding. One I can clear up in the blink of an eye.
Shove your excuses up your ass. Sod off, or I'll split your skull.
My friend asked you nicely, so please be courteous in return and hear him out, or we'll settle this another way.
All right, talk.
Hubio, right? Polly's told me so much about you. She said you're erudite and have an open mind.
You said that? Well, there's a truth to it. My mind's the open salt, but its open saltedness ends when my betrothed starts wagging her ass around brothels. Get out of here, both of yous. Polly's not going anywhere.
Let him finish. There's no brothel involved.
You see, friend, Geralt just hit the nail on the head. For what you have there is the old publicity placard.
Old?
Very. From a time when my establishment was under different management. I, however, would never let any indecency take place in my cabaret. My very reputation precludes it.
So, what's all this about?
Your betrothed is a first-class artiste, and I want to offer her a position worthy of her talents. She's to be my choreographer, and that in turn means she'll receive a share of the proceeds from every performance she choreographs.
You mean to say... coin?
And fame. No flirting required. You have my word.
Suppose... in that case...
I knew you'd agree.
It's settled then. See you at the Rosemary, Polly.
Well, I'm off.
I'll catch up to you. Whew. Never expected that to go so well.
You handled it well, Dandelion. Man was putty in your hands once you called him erudite.
In negotiation, as in combat, the key is to find your opponent's weak spot and exploit it to the hilt.
So, time to head back?
I've still got to stop by Rotlick's. Commissioned some new placards from him a while ago, but Hubio came across the old version. Plowing artists got some serious explaining to do.
Who's Rotlick?
Never heard of him? Hank Rotlick, famous portrait artist?
Commissioned a portrait artist to paint your placards?
Henry's an old friend, needed the coin. And I decided we needed new placards to promote the opening performance. Seats won't fill themselves, you know.
I'll go see Rotlick. You head back to the Rosemary. We'll Priscilla will have my head.
Really? You'd go?
No, said that for the hell of it. Tell me where he lives.
Portside.
See you soon.
Encuentra Raúl para que te dé los carteles. Vale. Qué rápido que era. Hasta que no acabe las 2 misiones de Jaskier, no sé si son 2 o 3, pero hasta que no acabe las 2 o 3, el vídeo como si dura 2 horas, ¿eh? Creo que no va a durar tanto. Pero quiero que esté toda la cadena de misiones de Jaskier, quiero que esté en un solo vídeo.
Looking for Rotlick.
You ain't alone. Damn halfling's in debt to half the city, but I'm here to scrape mine for the carcass is picked clean.
There's not enough for everyone, so bugger off. Feeding time's first come, first served.
Take what you want. I'm just here for some placards.
You deaf? Didn't you hear me? This is all mine now. Fuck off, freak.
And here I thought we'd resolve this peacefully. Bad idea.
You'll regret
¿En serio no
this, mutant.
puedo sacar la espada? ¿En serio? Tío, que me matan.
Time to end this.
Sube, Geralt, sube. Vale, aquí más espacio. A subir, hijos de puta. Que no me deja hacer señales ni... Nada, no me deja,
Let's end this.
Vale, uno menos. Ali, uff.
Tell me what you want, damn it.
Placards.
There ain't no ploughing placards here.
And Rotlick? Where's he?
Same place as always. Vehicle bud estate. Losing his last crowns at the races.
See? Wasn't that easy? Could have said so right away.
Por la puta. Deja para arrastre estos hijos de puta. Vale, hablé con Rata en la residencia de los Belgebur. Mira que tengo la vida entera. Después de cada duelo se la llenan. La vida. Aquí no hay nada. Ya nos vamos. Habla con Raute en la residencia de los Belgebur. La residencia de los Belgebur está... lejos. Vale, vamos a coger el poste de viaje rápido. Aquí vinimos en una de las misiones principales con Tris. Vale, te llevo la espada Roma. Vale, a ver. Ha dicho que se gastaban dinero en carreras.
Choice before long. Come now, old sport. We can't allow that. Who'd I wager with then, eh? Listen, here's what we'll do. Make one more bet. If you win, I'll pay your debts and continue playing. What do you say? And if I lose, one worry at a time, old chum. Well, I'll have to place my bet. I haven't the strength for anything.
You Rodlick?
Henri Rodlick, artist, painter, debtor, and martyr to my art. At your service.
Dandelion sent me.
Oh, yes. But tell him his placards are done and safely hidden away. Yet, alas, I cannot fetch them, as a group of angry creditors has seized my home.
Think I might have run into one of them.
Then you know my predicament. And now, Count de Louverton has offered me the chance to win it all back. I'm to wager on a race.
Generous. Not just anybody could afford to do that.
De Louverton is not just anybody. He's Duke Sam's youngest son. Sam of the well-known family of gem dealers. One debt more or less makes little difference to him.
What's there to worry about? This is your chance to settle up. Get a clean slate.
We've had a spell of bad luck lately. Should I agree to de Louverton's offer and lose, I shall be in bondage to him for all time.
Solo quiero esos carteles.
Listen, all I really want are the placards. Tell me where you tucked them away and I'll be out of your hair.
Forgive me, I cannot. I hid them with family heirlooms that would work those barbarians lurking outside my home into a slavering froth.
Then go fetch them yourself. I'll wait here.
If I show my face there without coin, they'll beat me to a pulp. I must win back my debt somehow, else I'll
Tienes que ayudar a todo el mundo, ¿verdad? Gané la guerra por ti, deja para la deuda. Y es que 200, en serio, tu deuda es solo de 200 monedas. Tengo yo 100.000. Voy a pagar la deuda porque no te van a hacer la carrera. Y no quiero que ella se quede sin los carteles.
Let me pay off your debt. No strings attached.
Thank you. I never expected this. May I ask to what I owe this generosity?
Dame los
Let's just say
carteles.
I like to do a good deed from time to time. Can we get those placards now?
I'll bring them to the Rosemary in time, just as soon as I settle my obligations.
Fine. See you there.
Cabaret, reúnete con Jaskier. Aquí arriba hay una misión.
Greetings.
Greetings. Have you come to race, or are you merely a spectator?
Haven't decided yet.
Speak to the race master if you decide to compete.
Ah, vale, es una carrera.
On the platform.
Pues...
You seem quite the rider, though not as good as Luke. A shame, really. I'd like to see someone knock that conceited brat down a peg.
Entiendo.
You want a race? I'll let you groom my horse.
Hijo de puta. Pues menos mal que no acepté hacer la carrera porque vamos a hacer esta en un momento.
Wondering if I could take part in the races.
If you've coined for the rider's fee and a steed of your own, why not? Decide quickly, please. There's a race about to begin.
These races. Tell me about them.
They're run as per Erasmus Vegelbud's dying wish. He came into his fortune by gambling and remained proud of the fact to the end.
Family doesn't mind having a racetrack right by their house?
But the house, his fortune, would not even be theirs had they not fulfilled Lord Erasmus's wish. He made it a condition.
Any special rules for the races?
They're as simple as Lord Erasmus was. 2 competitors, simultaneous start. First to complete a lap around the track wins.
I want a race.
Grand. Your name and the name of your steed.
Geralt of Rivia, on Roach.
Excellent. Your opponent, let me see. Seamus Holt astride Athos.
Venga, va. Ganamos rápidamente. Carajo. Seguimiento de misión. Supera el primer jinete.
1, 2, 3. Off you go.
Aquí está. Hay que dar la vuelta entera, ¿no? Vale, parece ser que hay más de un... más de un rival. No vamos a hacer todo, vamos a hacer solo este primero. A ver, Sardinilla, ¿te vas a cansar o llegas? Sardinilla, lo que llegas, coño. A que se cansa justo al llegar. Me adelanta. Vamos. Y llega.
Hear ye, hear ye. The final of the Erasmus Vegelbud Memorial Derby is over. The winner is Geralt of Rivia, riding Roach. Glory to the victor.
Not bad, yet we shouldn't kid ourselves. The competition was hardly stiff. Shall I sign you up for another?
Tal vez luego. Puedo venir después. Habla con el maestro de ceremonias para que... Vale, sí, se queda como pendiente la misión. Fantástico, genial. Vale, pues vamos a completar la de Jaskier. Si da tiempo, pues hacemos esta. Y si no, pues... no, pues ya las haré yo. Realmente son carreras, no creo que sea... Vale, a ver. Tenemos que hablar con Jaskier. Otra vez. Vale, me he equivocado, no es esta. Está de abajo. Esta. Parece que aquí ya se completa la misión.
In G major, and
I've told you, the piece is sad, melancholy, needs a minor key.
But I wanted
to ruin everything. We'll start in E minor.
Well. See, the crew's been hard at work. Not bad.
I love it, especially the accoutrements on the wall. What about Rotlick? Did you get the placards?
Rotlick said he'd bring them on his own. Should be here soon.
Great! The best way I can think of to promote the chameleon.
Never mentioned wanting to change the name.
Rosemary and Thyme wasn't all bad, but it conjured images of Temerian cuisine served by waitresses in peasant garb. Chameleon's a lot better for a cabaret, apart from which it emphasizes that the place has undergone a transformation. Just a better ring to it all round.
What about choreography? Prepared anything special for the opening?
We haven't. But Polly has. She's priceless. Came in and brought the girls in line before I could say knickers. Premier will have the audience on their feet, on their knees, both at the same time.
Guess everything's ready. So when's the opening?
Soon. We start our dress rehearsal in an hour. I just need to nip back home for my dress.
Thanks for everything.
Don't mention it.
Seems my cabaret dreams are about to come true. So, around to celebrate? I'm buying.
Why not?
That's my boy. The foreman mentioned he saw you and Priscilla talking.
He's all right.
And she say anything about me?
She said something that made me think she's not entirely normal.
What?
That you're responsible, got your feet planted firmly on the ground.
You're pulling my leg.
Not this time. One thing's eating me. How do you manage to get the loan from Sophronia?
Ugh, wasn't easy. She got so excited about our performance, I had to read to her for 4 hours. 4 hours from the cloak and the dagger.
You mean you didn't...
Are you crazy? Who do you think I am? She's late, of course. She knew how important this night was to me.
Of course she did. Probably just making herself gorgeous. Takes time, you know.
So it's true. A woman's vanity knows no bounds.
Master Dandelion! Priscilla, she's...
What? Speak, man!
She's badly, been attacked. They took her to Vulmerius Hospital.
Attacked? She's hurt? Geralt, come with me, please.
Of course, let's go.
Gods. Priscilla. Is she gonna live?
I'd say that's certain. Her condition's critical but stable. Beg your pardon, but you are a relative?
Relative? No, a friend. A very close friend.
Dandelion, correct? She uttered the name in her few moments of lucidity. I am Joachim von Gratz, head of surgery. Until recently, a lecturer at Oxenfurt Academy.
Enough of the courtesies. What are her injuries, besides her eye?
A concussion, cranial swelling, incision into her larynx, and scalding inside the throat and esophagus. Clearly someone forced her to imbibe a caustic fluid.
So this was no ordinary attack, no robbery.
Clearly not. It was the act of a demented mind, and not its first.
How can you know that?
I've seen wounds like this. They're not the kind one would forget, don't you agree? In fact, just this week a corpse turned up in the morgue with similar injuries. And no heart.
No heart? You mean that might have happened to Priscilla? Is someone looking into this?
This is Novigrad. Only the innocent burn here.
Geralt, I know I owe you 100 times over, but I need to ask you another favor. Find the bastard who did this. Find him and kill him.
Don't need any convincing. Come on, Dandelion. Let's think about what we can do.
I would suggest examining the previous victim's corpse. It has yet to be autopsied. Doing so could very well provide some clues. No need to look astonished, gentlemen. As a surgeon, I know the importance of preventive medicine. Rather than wait for this maniac to strike again, I'd prefer to excise him. Not unlike a tumor.
Great analogy, but this tumor's not gonna sit there, wait to be excised. Appreciate the help, but I doubt you know what you're getting yourself into.
I know perfectly well, and I assure you I can take care of myself.
Easy assurance to make, harder to back up, especially if you've spent your whole life wielding a scalpel, not a sword.
Look at this scar. Don't be shy. Any idea what leaves such a mark?
A flail. Morning star, maybe.
What do you think? A blow sustained at the operating table? No? Let me repeat. I know what I'm doing, and I wish to help.
Think they'll let me into the morgue?
By the main entrance, certainly not. But you can also get inside through the sewers.
The sewers? Travel them often, Doctor?
As often as required for, the pursuit of preventive medicine.
Alternative treatments. Aggressive ones, I'm guessing. Interesting.
We can discuss this en route. Are you ready?
No. Need to tend to something first.
In that case, we shall meet by the Kingfisher. I'll await you there.
I'll get whoever did this, Dandelion. Even if it's Hierarch Hemmelfart himself.
Thanks.
Pecados carnales. Vale, esta es la nueva misión y es la segunda de Jaskier. Creo que es la última. Le está hecha polvo, tío.
Geralt.
Vale. Esta es la que me está enseñando ahora en la prueba final. Esa es la de la misión principal. Pero vamos a hacer esta. Pecados carnales. Reunirte con Von Gratz. Tabular un momento. No me da tiempo a hacerla, pero venga, vamos a hacerla. Creo que sí va a dar tiempo. Lo hacemos rápido.
Oh.
Pero bueno, para dejar cerrado en un vídeo toda la cadena de misiones de Jaskier, ya lo he dicho. Prefiero dejarlo todo cerrado en un vídeo antes que... Antes que estar en un montón de vídeos haciendo misiones del mismo tema.
Ready and intrigued.
You lead.
So, preventive medicine you practice in the sewers. What's that about?
Think. Hear that?
Been hearing it for a while. Draw your weapon.
Sumergido. ¿Una ballesta? What the fuck? Ya va, rapidito. Mierda.
Lost it. I kill one, another takes its place.
I know how you feel. Believe me. Where to now? Up?
Yes, it's not far now.
Priscilla. How's it look? Give it to me straight. No sugarcoating.
Her wounds will heal, but it's her voice that concerns me. Surely you understand what a terrible blow that would be to a Trobreath. Enough to strip her of the will to live.
Any remedy for that?
I fear only your friend Dandelion can be of help on that count. Take the ladder. This is the place. Come, the quicker we take care of this, the better.
Why? Got somewhere to be?
Someone might disturb us. The coroner, for example. Or Reverend Nathaniel Custodian. Very well. We seek the corpse of a dwarven woodcarver.
Me voy a dejar de farmear mierda. A A ver, vale, está ahí atrás. Ahí atrás están las pistas.
Looks like necrophages got to this one. Human, wrong body type.
Vale, a ver, enano. Enano. Enano, nope. Enano.
Human, wrong body type. Let's keep looking. This isn't it.
A ver, enano. ¿Sí?
Calluses on the fingers, sawdust in the beard, clothes sticky with sap. Must be our dwarf.
Excellent. I trust you don't grow weak in the knees at the sight of blood?
Not a bit. Start the autopsy.
Where?
Dale.
His genitals. We ought to inspect those.
I sincerely doubt they bear any relation to the matter.
Puede que tenga razón.
Right. Never mind.
Claro, tiene que ser cabeza. Cabeza y torso, ¿no?
Let's look at his head. Hair smells like it's burnt. Like he was in a fire.
Notice anything else? That his eyes have been scooped out, for instance?
See this? Incision made into the voice box.
Indeed, so thin as to be nearly unnoticeable.
A small, extremely sharp instrument. Scalpel.
But why? The wound is too small to bleed, and there are signs of swelling. The murderer... I believe he performed a tracheotomy, so the victim wouldn't die too soon.
Let's examine the mouth. Burns, blisters.
Just like Priscilla's.
Those burn marks I see in his eye sockets.
Yes, and some grey dust. Ash, it seems, very fine.
Murderer gouged out his eyes, then put burning coals in the sockets.
So it seems. Looking at the wounds, it appears our woodcarver was still alive when it happened.
Let's examine his torso.
What have we here? Deep wound on the left side of his rib cage, and a scar the length of his stomach.
Let's examine the chest wound. Yeah, heart carved out, wound cauterized.
Wait a minute, there's something else.
An egg from an amphibian. A salamander? Scorched but intact.
I attended some lectures in herpetology as a student. Afraid I don't recall any amphibians that would lay eggs in corpses. So either Professor Cochrane was deeply mistaken, or this is our murderer's doing.
Look at the scar. Wounds long and thin, an incision, but the edges are ragged.
Means nothing. Look, no swelling, no bruises. An old injury, perhaps an accident in the workplace.
Open the abdominal cavity.
Due warning, it will stink of rot.
Once fought a Zoogle up to my waist in sewage, so I doubt... Wait. Smells not rot.
Formaldehyde. A medical novelty. Heavily diluted, it's remarkable at preserving organic tissue. In stronger proportions, it's more destructive than acid.
Explains why there's no smell of decay, and why his throat's scalded. Look at his hands. These welts. Rope burns, right? He was tied up.
I'd expect so. No one could sit through such torture unless bound.
Speaking from experience?
Yes, that of a victim. Spent a year in the dungeons of Tretogor. Long story.
Some other time, maybe. See the callus? Our dwarf wore a ring, but someone took it off him. See anything interesting on his legs?
His right foot. The ankle swollen, toenails broken. He clearly kicked something very hard. Right before he kicked the bucket.
Doesn't strike me as the right time for jokes.
Apologies. We surgeons, we've a different sensibility.
Mm-hmm. And a different sense of humor.
Dale.
His genitals. We ought to inspect those.
I see. You clearly find gonads fascinating. I fear I don't share your passion. Let's focus on other parts of his anatomy, shall we?
Ahora me deja ya. Vale.
All right. Think I know enough.
Enlighten me, please, because I've still no notion what this is about. What the motive might have been.
Es que no lo sé, tío. Prefiero decirle que no porque no lo sé.
Rather not share my conclusions just yet.
I understand. For the good of the investigation. Will you at least share what you intend to do?
It's a lead worth following. Any idea what his name was?
Fabian Meyer. And I'm Hubert Reich, the coroner. I've come to perform the autopsy, but I see you've done it for me, Joachim. As always, you interfere where you're neither needed nor wanted. Drag others into trouble in the process. Who is this?
A student. Lifelong learner. Got a couple questions for you.
Very well, speak. But be quick. Reverend Nathaniel has come by for an inspection. He'll be here shortly.
You old friends?
Hubert taught me the rudiments of medicine. Long ago.
And not very well. You've still not mastered certain basic principles. For example, that a doctor's role is to treat the ill, not save the world.
You've not changed a bit.
A compliment?
No, a statement of fact. 30 years, and you've not changed a bit.
Woodcarver's body. Where was it found? It's important.
Plan to investigate? Exciting. He died in his workshop south of the market square, just beside the gate to Far Corners. That poor Trebirates was attacked there. City's abuzz about it. But the woodcarver, Eustace the corpse collector, brought us the body. You should speak to him. Saw him just around the corner near... Oh, greetings, Your Reverence.
Who are these people? I believe I made it clear no one's to be allowed in under any circumstances.
You did, but they're friends of the deceased. Here to collect the body.
Out of the question. Show them out at once.
As Your Reverence wishes. Gentlemen, follow me. You shall leave via another route.
Why'd you cover for us?
I was covering my own arse. If Reverend Nathaniel had learned someone had entered the morgue, then cut open a corpse without his permission, I'd be in deep trouble. You didn't give that a thought, did you, Joachim? As ever. Well, while I don't approve of your willfulness, I also wish to see this murderer hang. So, should I learn anything new related to this case, I will let you know.
Thank you.
Nathaniel. Who is he?
A scoundrel. A rogue. Like every man who wears the robes of the eternal fire.
Most are scoundrels before they ever put on the robes.
True in his case as well. Before he donned the frock, Nathaniel was a torturer. Delighted especially in torturing women. Later, Hierarch Hemmelfart appointed him to oversee the morgue. He deals with the temple guard, supervises cremations, conducts funeral masses in the temple on the Isle, and so forth.
Dream job. Might have told me you know the coroner. We could have skipped the trip through the sewers.
I know him, thus I avoid him. I've said enough on the subject.
I decide when we're done with this subject. What's your connection to him?
An old story, but if you insist. The student protests in 1242, you've heard of them? I led them. Hubert, however, denounced me to the authorities. I landed in prison. There you have it. What will you do now?
Plenty of leads. Woodcarver's workshop, the corpse collector who found him, alley where Priscilla was attacked. Got work to do.
As do I. At the hospital. I must return there. But I shall keep my fingers crossed.
And I'll keep my eye on you.
Vale. Pues parece que es una misión larguita, ¿eh?
Yes, Geralt?
¿Conoces a una mujer llamada Sunny? Sunny es la enfermera, entre comillas, que nos podemos tirar en el primer The Witcher.
Know another surgeon from Oxenford Academy. Her name's Shawnee. Know her? Red hair, cropped short, freckles.
And a hopeless idealist. Naturally, I know her. She was my assistant for a year.
Any idea where she is now?
My gut tells me she's somewhere along the front, patching up pikemen. I told her it would be futile. In the time she saved 100 lives, another 1,000 would be lost. But medics with a mission, you can't argue with them.
Y esta es la única vez donde se menciona a Sunny en The Witcher 3.
Why is the university in Oxenford closed?
Because it suits Radovid. You've not heard the story? The rector wished to grant him an honorary doctorate. The faculty disagreed. Nonetheless, Radovid arrived for the ceremony, donned a gown, collected his diploma, and when it was over, imprisoned the deans and the entire academic senate so they wouldn't raise a stink. I've been at Vilmerius Hospital ever since. But perhaps it's for the best. I'm far more adept, scalpel in hand, than I ever was behind a lectern.
These murders. Got any suspects?
No, Geralt. Though all in all I should have.
What do you mean?
By virtue of my profession, I know Novigrad's underworld better than most. Dozens of mercenaries, racketeers, bandits and hired assassins have had their turn on my operating table. Rogues, one and all. But I believe even they could not kill in this manner. So horribly cruel, yet cold, methodical, with absolute precision. Concluding this overlong explanation, I've no notion who's behind it, but I fear them like hell.
Farewell.
Y bueno, gente, ¿qué os parece? ¿Qué os parece? Sí. ¿Qué os parece si dejamos el capítulo de hoy aquí? Porque llevo 57 minutos de gameplay. Y podemos dejarlo aquí en el siguiente episodio. Examinar todo esto de que va a ser misión de investigación. Lo veo venir, va a ser larga. Supongo que investigaremos los 3 sitios. Después que era sacar una conclusión, ir a otro sitio. De ahí se irá a otro sitio. Y de ahí nos cargaremos al malo. Estoy convencido. Así que dejamos la misión aquí, a medio. En el siguiente episodio será de misión secundaria, obviamente, porque terminaremos esta y seguiremos haciendo unas cuantas secundarias más. En cuanto a principales, seguramente seguiremos, en cuanto llegue al nivel 26, seguramente seguiremos con las principales. Así que quiera ver principales, simplemente que se espere un poco. Y el que quiera ver secundario, lo quiere ver todo, pues también lo tendrá en el canal. Así que like si os ha gustado, suscribiros si queréis más de Witcher 3. Y nos vemos en próximos episodios en las investigaciones de Geralt de Rivia. Saludos y hasta la vista.